All right, real quick, I'm going to get into this because I have things to do. I listen to a lot of research while I'm driving. Obviously, I prefer to read, and you want, the most first-hand account of things and all that stuff when you're trying to do real research. And I read the Bible and non-canonical works and then other theologies and writings of other civilizations at the same time, and you try and map it all out. But anyway, I drive a lot, so I listen to a lot of things when I'm going. And there's a lot of great, much smarter than people out there who do research into non-canonicals and the Bibles and stuff. And I'm always hearing talk about the seed of the serpent versus the seed of the woman and the bloodlines. Now, if you're not aware of this, it's obviously in the Bible that there's the seed of the serpent, there's the seed of the woman, and there are these different bloodlines out there. The thing that I want to make clear, as I always do, what you believe is almost completely irrelevant to everything, is so long as you accept the message of Christ and that you have a Father in heaven who loves you and you should worship him above all else and love him above all things and accept his Son Christ as your Savior. And to show your love for him, treat everyone the way you would want to be treated. It's pretty simple. Everything else is not a point of salvation. It really isn't. That's the point of salvation. Everything else is fun and interesting to talk about. That being said, people who are Christians, who accept this bloodline thing as being real, it's not that it isn't real, but it's irrelevant. Okay? And here's what I'm saying. So the seed of the serpent, the descendants of Cain, or the descendants of Canaan and Ham after him and all this stuff, and this other bloodline that exists, this evil bloodline that will always contend with the seed of the woman, which is where Christ comes from, which is the descendants of Adam and all this. It's these two bloodlines that they're always going to go at it. Now, do these bloodlines exist in the sense that there are descendants of these two different peoples? Yes, obviously. That goes without saying. Are there people who believe that this bloodline thing is real, who they themselves are a member of? Yeah, I mean, you actually find a lot of top-level Satanists and Luciferians who think that they'll map their genealogy back to show that they are this descendant of this special bloodline. And it's weird when you get into how many European royalty are all related, and there's something like 39 or 37 of our presidents have been related to them, and prime ministers all over the world. It's this ruling class, this seed of the serpent. Now, are these bloodlines different in the sense that they have different ancestors? Obviously, that goes with, yeah, duh. What I mean by saying that it's irrelevant as a Christian is this. It's irrelevant to say, because this is what you need to understand. The seed of the serpent is choosing to live in sin. It's knowing and hearing and understanding the message of God, the message of Christ, and choosing instead to live for this world, to live for yourself, to live in sin. That is the seed of the serpent. They've rejected the Holy Spirit. They've rejected the Messiah. They've rejected the teachings that they know and understand. You see this in the Bible. There are Pharisees that knew who Christ was and rejected him. And Christ said, you are of your father's ilk or whatever. You are the seed of the serpent, basically. And it wasn't because of their bloodlines. It was because of the choice that they made to choose to live in sin. Now again, these bloodlines exist. They do exist because they do have different ancestors. But can someone who is the seed of the serpent, who is of this ancestry, not be saved by the message of Christ? Well, of course they can. They can hear and understand the message of Christ and choose to live for Christ. Can the seed of a woman who's of this bloodline choose to be sinful? Yes, they can. Your bloodline does not matter. It's what you choose to do that matters. That's the seed of the serpent versus the seed of the man, is choosing one way or choosing the other. Christ came for the Gentiles. He came for everybody. This messed with a lot of people in power who thought they were of the proper bloodline. What's this about? You're saving everybody. People did not like this. It's not what they wanted. So these bloodlines, they're traced throughout the Bible. People think this is so that we can show who the evil ones will be. The seed of the serpent, they'll be the evil ones. And who will be the good ones. But obviously, we know that's not true. We know that people of the good line will fall into sin. And people of the good line, or the bad line, can be saved. This is throughout the Bible. We see cases of people of the wrong bloodline who become saved, and then we see cases of people who are of the good bloodline. I mean, look at David's son Solomon. He was not a very godly guy by the end. I mean, look at all the future kings over the Jews, and you can say, well, they were of the seed of the serpent because they have this bloodline mixed in with them, or is it because they chose to live in sin? Like, to say that it rejects the whole idea that God can save anyone, that Christ can save anyone. And to do that kind of rejects the Bible. Christ can save anyone who accepts him. And anyone who does not accept him can fall out of salvation and will fall out of salvation. So this whole bloodline thing, it's tracked throughout the Bible. For one, that's how you see the accuracy of prophecy. You know, if you say that this person, Samson is going to come of this line, and you don't track the line where Samson came from, how do you know if that prophecy is true? You have to track it once the prophecy's made. Otherwise, it's just words being said, and we can't prove it. So there's more to these genealogies than just showing this is the proper bloodline, this is the improper bloodline. I mean, God told Abraham that he was going to make him a blessing to all the families of the world. He's going to take the message to everyone. So clearly, if he's taking the message to everyone, anybody can be saved. And if you have to accept the message to be saved, clearly people who are the seed of the woman cannot be saved. So do these bloodlines exist? Yes, but they are irrelevant. Christ made them utterly and totally irrelevant. The only people they're relevant to are these deep-level Luciferian devil worshippers who think that they are the seed of the serpent. And maybe they are of that bloodline, but they're too dumb to realize that it doesn't matter. They're too caught up in their own LARP fantasy, of getting off on the thought that they'll be godlike and that they have the hidden knowledge and Lucifer's the real God and blah blah blah, and we're the seed of the serpent, but they don't know the seed of the serpent is the winning side. Like, they're the ones who care. If Christians, it's cool and interesting, and trust me, I have studied it. It's cool and interesting to know about these bloodline things because the enemy, bad people, believe in it. And it's a deception that the devil is trying to put upon us. But to think that they are relevant things is to kind of deny the message of Christ, that we're all saved under his good grace. All those who ask of his salvation will be saved. Knock on the door shall be answered, ask and ye shall receive. Christ came for everyone who calls on him. So it doesn't matter what your ancestry is, anybody can be saved. Or anybody can hear the message, understand it, and choose instead to live a life for themselves. And once you do that, you're in the seed of the serpent camp. And once you hear the message and choose to try and live a godly life, you're in the son of woman camp, the seed of the woman. Okay, so the bloodline, again, it's not that they don't exist. It's not even that you shouldn't study and be aware of them. It's to know and understand that they are irrelevant. The only reason, again, there are evil people who are of this bloodline, or at least think they are, and they probably are, but they're not evil because they're in this bloodline. They're evil because they're choosing to be evil. It just so happens that they're in this bloodline, and that just so happens to have been prophesied. You see what I'm saying? It's not that they can't be saved. It's that they have been tricked to choosing a life of sin, which makes them a seed of the serpent. Again, the bloodline thing, it's a fascinating topic. Obviously, different people have different ancestors. Obviously, there's prophecies for different lineageal different lines and different lineages, and that's why it's tracked. But to say that the seed of the serpent is a literal war of one bloodline, the seed of the serpent versus seed of the woman is literal bloodline war of one bloodline versus another bloodline, it makes it too easy. It really does. It makes it too easy to be saved or to not be saved. No, seed of the serpent, the constant enmity, is because of choosing to live in sin, choosing not to live in sin. I mean, Christ says he comes not to bring peace, but to bring the sword. He comes to bring the sword, meaning division. There will not be peace between these two bloodlines. Because Christ is truth, seed of the serpent is sin, which is lie, choosing to live in lies and deception. Christ's truth, lies, deception. Bring the sword. He says, I will turn mother against daughter and brother against brother and father against son. Whoa, hold on. If he's turning mother against brother, father against son, they're of the same bloodline though. That doesn't make sense, because it's the bloodlines that are important. No, it's not. It's what you choose to do. Do you choose to hear the message of Christ and follow it, or do you choose to hear it, understand it? Your heart isn't hardened against it necessarily. You understand it, but you choose anyway to live a selfish life of sin. Well, you're a seed of the serpent. Kudos to you. You hear the message and you decide this is the truth. I'm going to live in truth. I'm going to live for God. Then you're the seed of the woman. And this will bring enmity between each other for all eternity. Christ brought the sword. He brought the division to turn mother against father. Father against son, mother against daughter, brother against brother. Same bloodline against one another. The constant war of the seed of the serpent versus the seed of the woman. Those who choose to be of God's creation and choose to live under his laws and try to follow his son's Christ, seed. Cool. Those who choose to live in sin, even after hearing the message of Christ and understanding the message of Christ, still choose to reject it. Well, you're a seed of the serpent. The bloodlines exist, but they are irrelevant. All right, God bless.